Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin.
And I'm Sandra Priestley. Happy Thursday.
Happy
Welcome to
Thursday.
the podcast. I I decided today, I have a ton of things that I have to do tonight. So I decided I was just going to have plain old water, which seemed
Okay.
boring. So I thought, oh, you know what? I love this water with some cucumbers, lemon,
Mm.
and mint. Except I did not have those things. So I decided I was going to have cilantro because that's the only fresh herb in my fridge and strawberries.
Oh,
It is a swing and a miss. I love cilantro, but it is it is not good in water.
I
Just
was
as a
wondering, not even with the strawberry?
well, no. It's not.
You're
I
like, it's
can't.
a swing and a miss.
It is yeah. You know how some people, I love cilantro, and then there's some people that say that cilantro tastes like soap. Sort of tastes like soap in my water.
I like it in my salsa.
I I like it on everything. Like,
Okay.
yes, salsa, guacamole on my chicken. I don't like, I love it, but is
Okay. Not in your water.
water
Note
as
to self.
I need mint for that. Anyway, what are you drinking today?
Well, I had big ambitions on the way home. I've been running all day and that I'm going to go by HTO and pick up some sugar-free mint tea.
Hmm.
Well, I didn't. So I got
Okay.
home and I was like, well, I'm drinking some tropical water, but I didn't want to drink the tropical water out of so I put it
Bottle.
in my cute little Chi Girl cup.
Nice.
So,
Cute.
yes.
I love it.
And I
Such
didn't
a
have anything fresh to put in it.
well, I'm
I could put
glad.
some celery in it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you didn't have any spare cilantro or I don't know, rosemary or something. Well, rosemary would have been a better option, maybe, and
Maybe.
lemon.
So
Anyway, okay, so tell me what's happening.
I just thought it was funny when we got on the call. The first thing I did was, well, let me back. We had a conversation when I first got on the call, and
Yeah.
it was about me editing last week's episode. And when I was editing it and I got to the end of it, I'm babbling about a lot of nothing. And in the episode, I'm like, I'm just going to cut this out. Like, but you didn't look like you were there. Like, in the moment, I was like, oh, she's glazed over. Like, I bored her to death.
She's sleeping with her eyes open,
Yes.
like a lizard.
Yes. Yes. But when I edited the video, it was super interesting because I was like, oh my God, I annoyed her. Oh, she's mad at me. And so the first was like, that feeling. And then I was like, you're making up a story. You don't know what's going on. So you just need to chat with her about this. Just,
My resting bitch face must have been on point that day because like I know I was listening to your story
uh-huh.
and I might have even known a little bit of the story. I can't remember what it was about, but I was listening to your story and I was internalizing it. Like I was thinking about what you were saying at the same time I was internalizing it to like something that happened in my life. So like I was comparing it. Like
Mm.
I was only half there. I mean, let's face it, but I was definitely not angry or annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I was in thought though.
Yeah. But isn't it interesting how we can look at someone's facial expression and maybe it reminds us of someone else that looked at us in that way.
Yeah,
And then we make it mean something.
absolutely.
We just make it up.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit me. It hit me a little bit in the moment because when we finished, I was asking, are you okay? But it didn't hit me the same way as when I watched it back.
Wow.
And I thought, that's where we go wrong. Because when we're acting or interacting with people throughout our day and we get a
Mhm,
look or they ignore us, flash to a different time
mhm,
and a different circumstance with a different person and think it's the same thing happening again. So all the same things are firing. It feels like the same thing in our body. Man, that can be tricky out in the world.
mhm. It's such a trigger, right? Like it
Mhm.
it it triggers us to like those, traumas with a little t, like Gabby Bernstein, like
Mhm.
just tiny little micro tears
Yeah.
in in our life. And then all of a sudden it's like, this is familiar. Safety, safety, seek safety. Right? Like that's what happens.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing that we like when we start to do the work to catch ourselves,
Yeah. Yeah.
because there's a lot of times years ago I did not catch myself as being triggered,
Mhm.
but instead I
Yeah.
caught myself believing that bullshit for way
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
and beat myself up for it as well.
Making it true.
Totally.
Coming to a conclusion based on someone's response, making
Yeah.
up a story about you,
Yeah.
and then saying, "See, it must be true.
Yeah.
Must be true." They all feel
Yeah.
this way.
Just justified all of my insecurities,
Mhm.
right? She saw
Keeps
it
us
too.
stuck. Oh, yeah.
And it's so it's so empowering, I find, when we can recognize that and not judge ourselves for doing it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like for me in my journey anyway to here, I first started recognizing that I was doing it, but that's just one piece of the puzzle, because realizing, oh, wait a minute, this is just the way that my human is thinking. This is just the way my brain is going. It's not true. It's just what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. It's just my body is reacting to this emotion or to the, same situation. I'm seeking safety. But there's there was a time for me where I felt that I recognized that it was just a trigger for me, but then I made myself so wrong for being triggered. I got to this place where it was like, oh, but I shouldn't be doing this, and I shouldn't go down there. I should be just high vibe all the time. It should be positive all the time. What's wrong with me? I shouldn't be doing this. And how shameful of me that I would be triggered, then I would feel unsafe. And why would my brain go there? And how embarrassing. Like, I mean, man,
It's
I
just
told
something
a
that
lot of
needs
stories about.
yeah, but it's just something that needs to be healed.
Exactly.
That's all it is. We're always gonna evolve.
Yeah.
Things are always gonna kinda bump up against us. They can be little things like that
Yeah.
to go, "Oh, what do I need to heal?"
Right. And the thing for me is like I always feel like I would just rather quickly call and get it over with than worry about it for too long.
Yeah. But I was
Um
able to just file it away.
yeah, just go, okay.
I was like, "I'll talk to her this week."
Yeah.
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 So it's not anything that festered, but I thought you would get a kick out of it.
Well, what I get a kick out of is how my brain reacted to that. Because like I'm not joking, every single time you say, "Oh, I had a, like this happened to me." I think, thank God she's human. Like, because I have this vision of you
Mm.
as being like always on top of your mindset, of never faltering, of always thinking, this doesn't feel good, but what do I want? Like it's inspiring as fuck. But at the same time, it's like, I think, shoot, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I on this podcast with this person who's like perfect? Why am I like
No,
what?
no, no.
And
Just
it's so,
ask my family. They'll tell you.
but this is the thing. It's like, that's the story that I had running through my mind. And it's just stories.
Uh-huh.
It's just triggering, where am I not enough? Where did I feel in my life that I didn't belong? Where did I feel like I fell down? Where did I feel like I was in a situation where people were doing something that I wanted to do?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I couldn't do it. And like, that's what's going on in my subconscious mind. And my conscious mind is like, what the fuck is, like, smarten up, you're human. And this is what makes this podcast and us amazing, because we can tell people like all of the sort of things that we're learning as we go.
Right. I just wish I could share more.
Mm,
Like, I wish that I was one of those people that could just be like, I don't care if they're doing it, then that's my permission to talk about it. If I'm experiencing it, then but I can't.
yeah, that's our integrity too, right? Because for me, I won't tell a story, even if it's about me, if it's going to tell someone else's story.
Right.
So, like, we're kind of stuck with being as open as we can with
Right.
situations that affect us in hopes to inspire people.
Yeah.
But
Now, I
I
will
think,
say behind closed doors
yeah.
with patients, I will share
Mhm.
things that I think will help them
Yes.
because it's not being recorded,
Right.
you
It's not
know?
a podcast out for the
Correct.
world. No.
Correct.
Do the exact same thing.
Hmm.
I think it's
Because it's
powerful
a
when
human story is important.
that vulnerability,
Hmm.
as Brene Brown says, right?
Yeah.
What connects us is that vulnerability. And that's why I think it's like, I totally believe it is the most powerful thing. I don't really want to be friends with someone who is going to not tell me the truth.
Hmm.
I wrote a post the other day about a friend of mine. He used to, like, when our kids were little, I would go over to her house or she would come over to mine. And like, I'm not kidding. We both have very thin hair. So our hair gets like really oily really fast. And so we would joke about our greasy hair and our sweatpants. And most of the time, no bra and a sweatshirt, and just show up with like a bottle of wine, show up with a like coffee creamer. She loves coffee creamer, and like just hang out for hours.
Hmm.
And they were the most real conversations. They were the best
Yeah.
conversations. And I would show up or she would come to my house and we would just sit like exactly as we were. Sometimes
Hmm.
just rolled out of bed, like,
Yeah.
and we would call her, I would call and say, the coffee's on, the wine is chilling, get your ass over here. And we would just go. And we would just hang out and have the most real, the most fun, the most crazy conversations. And it just felt so honest.
Hmm.
And
And there was
in
no self-consciousness.
no,
Hmm.
no, like, and I said in that post, like, if, I never had to worry if my house was clean or if there was like dog hair on the couch. Like, she literally didn't care and neither did I. And I got to this place where I thought, if you are coming over to my home and you are looking down on me because there is dog hair on my couch, you don't deserve a place in my home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she would never do that. But it was this shift in my idea of what was really, really important to me in a friendship, in a relationship. It was this shift. And I mean, I was probably early 30s, maybe at this time. Like, it was
Yeah.
probably 20 years ago since this happened. But it was the start of a huge shift for me
Hmm.
in really understanding like what was so important in friendships
Yeah.
and how important that realness is,
Hmm.
and having people, surrounding myself with people who will, like, if I needed them, would come running.
Yeah. and not worry about your hair
Not worry about my hair. Not
or the
worry
dog
about
hair or how straight the house is. Because it's
right.
exhausting, right? When you have people come over
Yeah.
that are gonna judge everything,
Yes.
it's tough
Yes.
because it's like you've gotta go, "I will do what I can do," or
Mhm.
you kill yourself trying to
Yeah.
get everything perfect
And
when
then it isn't ever going to be anyway because they're still gonna pick up on something,
oh,
right?
absolutely, absolutely. They might
Mhm.
find lint in your dryer.
Right.
True story.
Wow.
But it is. It when you find those people that you can just take your
Mhm.
bra off and breathe
Yeah.
and everything's okay, those are your people.
It's so yeah, I just like it's just so fun for me to just even because she and I don't live in the same place anymore, but
Mhm.
we were doing Zoom calls for a while and it was like that, like just showing up with her hair pulled back and a glass or a mug of coffee and
Yeah.
like sitting on the couch on Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
Just super cozy, big slippers on,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I'm in this massive state of gratitude today, and that's one of the things that I keep coming up with. I'm so grateful for so much. And I'm not usually I mean, I'm usually like very positive and happy and like grateful for the life that I have. But today I've been grateful for the lessons. Today I've
Mhm.
been like in a way I have never before.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always, worked on gratitude. Like from the time Oprah said 5 things a day, I've worked on gratitude, not writing them down, but like always trying to look for the silver lining, look for it.
Sure.
But today I've been in this deep contemplative state.
Mm.
Like, wow, I am ever so grateful for the lessons. And I have had some doozies.
Yeah.
I mean, in the fall of 2023, I remember just being so freaking panicky and worried and I mean, I bought a big huge sign that said give it to God and go to sleep because I needed it.
Yeah.
You did a hypnosis tape or a recording for me because I had to have one. Like
Mhm.
I literally needed to reprogram my thoughts because I was going a little bit bananas, like,
Yeah, but you were doing much better than you give yourself credit for.
really,
Yeah.
I feel like I was not.
Yeah. No, because I remember getting on the phone with you
Mhm,
thinking, "She is gonna be in a whole different space."
right.
And I remember hearing your voice going, "Okay, she doesn't sound so bad." I don't think you were as bad as you thought you were, but I think it was a traumatic event,
Yeah,
and there
yeah,
was a lot of fear around it and a lot of unknown around it.
yeah,
And so that leads to storytelling, right? Because we're trying to come to the conclusions, what does this mean? Instead of
yeah,
going, well, everything in the past has always worked out for me. And me worrying about it is not going to fix it. So let's look for the solution.
yeah.
You weren't quite there, but
You
you were.
said that, you said that exact thing
I hope I
in
didn't say it just like that. Oh,
you did
in the tape.
in hypnosis.
Uh-huh.
In the hypnosis tape, you said everything has always worked out for me. Same sentence, I swear, so cool, and the same tone. And I know this because I listen to it a lot. And I still do. I still do listen to that hypnosis every once in a while. Like if something is a little bit triggering to me, but like I I was in a massive state of like, what the fuck does this mean? And what the fuck am I gonna do? And this like overly like thinking and ruminating about it in order to try to come up with all of the potential consequences and what I need to do now.
Mm.
But what I needed to do now was nothing. Like
Was try to feel good.
Try to feel good. Yeah. And I mean, and now I am so grateful for all of that happened,
Yeah.
because it has brought us to the most amazing place that I never thought we would be.
Mhm.
And
From
something
that.
I dreamed of, I prayed for,
Mhm.
is now unfolding.
Yeah.
And it happened because of that moment,
Yeah.
that situation. Wow. It's so true when they say, like, everything that's happening, you'll figure out why. You'll know the why later on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
now I can see the why. And even though it was difficult, it was so worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so I mean, I'm just in this state of like wonderment, like this, like, wow, life is cool
And you
today.
see how it set these things in motion
Mhm.
that cleaned up a lot of things that needed cleaning up. And
Yeah.
they were things that you had been saying, this needs to happen, and this needs to happen, and this needs to happen. Well, it did, Sandra.
Well, and I mean, in the fastest way possible, as
Yeah.
Abraham said, right? Like,
Yeah.
the path of least resistance was a bumpy motherfucker, but
Mhm.
it was everything that I had prayed for happened because of it.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just mind-bogglingly amazing.
Mhm.
Just think that, like, everything is for a purpose.
Mhm.
We just don't know what it is. And when we can sit into faith more than fear, and when we can
Yeah.
do whatever we need to do to get there, you know?
It's just that what happens most times is that people don't have that awareness. And so when something happens that feels like tragedy
Yeah,
or potential tragedy, they go to other things and go, oh, it means this and it means this. And even if those things have never happened before, they've happened to somebody. I
exactly.
saw it on the news. I saw it on Dateline. I This is what's going on. And we make it mean all these things that it doesn't mean. And so
Yeah.
we're spinning out of control over here
Mhm.
when it's trying to work itself out for us. We've asked for all these things to be resolved, taken care of,
Yeah,
but then we don't like the process. We got to trust the process.
we have to.
Mhm.
And I mean, Abraham talks about that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes I think I knew it logically,
Hmm.
but I love the fact that I've experienced it
Yeah.
to this deep
Mm.
level.
Yeah.
Like, I can't explain it other than that. The fear that I felt was so deep
Mm.
and so emotionally involved. And now it feels like the degree of gratitude that I have is equal to that.
Yeah.
It feels like I am shocked by how grateful I am today. Like, it to
Mhm.
the core of
Yeah.
who I am.
Hmm.
It's every single cell grateful for that bullshit we went through. It's
And if something ever happens like that, not to that degree, but the next time something pops up, you'll be able to go, oh, what do I
yeah,
want? How do I want to feel right now? Do I want to
right.
wallow in self pity and make this story mean all these things? Or do I just want to trust that
Yeah,
it's all working out for me because it always does?
it always does.
Mhm.
Grab the meditation again.
Whatever you need to do. Wanted to tell you because we talked, and I think we talked about it on the show about journaling
Yeah.
to my grandpa.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I want to know how it went.
Oh my gosh. So I did it, I believe, on Sunday.
Okay.
And I was trying to figure out the right time because I really felt like it was going to be a moment where I was going to lose my shit.
Mm, okay.
And so I took some time and I sat down and I started writing, and then I'm writing for a minute and then I ask a question. And I'm like, where the fuck is this going to go? Like,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do, Sandra?
Just keep writing.
And I just kept writing. And then, writing. And then I felt like, well, this is probably the next thing he's going to say. And as I'm writing, something completely different was written on the paper.
Yes.
And I went, oh, it was like, it was a moment. And
Uh-huh.
I have not gone back and read it.
Really?
I have not
Uh,
been ready, but I just know that some of the stuff, like as I was reading what I was writing, it was different than what was in my head.
yeah.
And so I need some space. Like, I don't need Paul
Yeah.
right there. Like, I need some privacy. I need Lily and Easton gone. I
Mhm.
need Paul, I need them all occupied. Because if I need a minute to have a moment,
Yeah.
I need to be able to have that moment. And I don't need anyone going, are you okay? What's wrong? Do you want to talk about it?
Can I fix it? Mhm.
Like, I just need to be there. So that is on my agenda for this week, is to
Right.
have maybe a couple hours, some space, just
Mhm.
alone,
Mhm.
so that I can really go through and feel it. I will report back.
Awesome.
But I did a thing this week.
What?
I signed up for a medium class.
Oh, to take it yourself so that you
Uh-huh.
can do it?
I
Oh,
don't
good.
know that I want to do it. I just want to understand it.
Yeah,
And I think there might be situations where I can use it. And
totally.
if not, you
Who
know,
cares?
I can talk
I
to Gigi.
It's like the coolest thing ever.
Hmm.
It's the coolest thing ever. And I just think like, well, I love taking classes because I love
Just
all of it,
an
but like,
understanding something new.
yeah.
Yeah.
And being able to tap into our intuition or that ability to speak to spirit or
Hmm.
to listen to the messages that we get. The person that I took my course from, she used to say that when you see, like, there will be something in your environment that you see all the time, and that will be the like a sign. It will be a sign that everything that they're with you. And so when I see butterflies, I always think it's my grandma. And when I see dimes, I always think it's my friend. And when I see feathers, I always think it's my grandpa. And so it's like, ah, just like a reminder,
Yeah.
like a reminder that they're there.
Well, and then to have the ability to learn how to pick up those messages
Mhm.
and get, because they're talking to us.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're talking to us. They're
I
trying to
think,
give us messages. They're trying to go here, not here,
yeah.
or come over here, look at this.
Yeah.
And I want to really know that,
Mhm.
so that I want to listen more. And so that's really what I'm hoping comes out of this,
Yeah.
is that it just turns up the volume.
Yeah, exactly. Turn up the volume. I love that.
Mhm. Next adventure.
Next
And
adventure.
with that, we're out of time.
We're out of time. Well, this
So
was fun.
thank you so much, Sandra. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.